Greetings, fellow Sicilians, and welcome back to Medieval 2 Total War, where we led a pretty poorly, conceived siege battle against Sicily here. And what I'm actually thinking about doing, and what I'm going to do, is hire some mercenaries to kind of cover up the lines a little bit, in case the Byzantines decide to attack, using some of that money we earned from, actually attacking them, to, make do with what we got, as it were. Now, interestingly, Palermo was actually about ready to upgrade to the next tier of castle, the Citadel, which would give us chivalric knights, which is pretty good. Yeah. Do we get any special infantry for being Sicily? At the armory level, once we build the Citadel, we do get dismounted broken lances and sword and buckler men, both of which I understand are fairly effective units. Never really gotten this far in a Sicily campaign, so. That being said, I'm pretty excited with how it's going. Oh, so many things to build, so many places. In Naples, let's go ahead and upgrade the farms. Just because, farms are income, basically. Let us go ahead and upgrade Venice as well. Increase their public order, increase the, production of the city, yada yada. Tripoli now has land clearance. This is good news. Tunis is now a town, which is good. We could actually train some Italian militia to defend it, which could be useful. One thing we are going to do is move some of these armored sergeants over to, try to get to Thessaly to defend it in the event that we need to do that. Alright, we can build a merchant's guild in Florence. I think we'll go ahead and do that. I think that improves our income at least a little bit. We failed the mission to blockade Bologna. I'm not really upset about that. Alright, we've got our men back into the castle here. Let's go ahead and, first of all, replenish the Norman Knights. Most important units, by and large. Especially since they have veterancy. I actually will train a fresh unit of them as well. Since heavy infantry are kind of our, our trump card in most of these engagements. I will upgrade the town walls in Durazzo, which is now becoming a very large town indeed. And one thing we can think about doing now, actually, now that we have this army here, is we could actually attack the Holy Roman Empire in Bologna. First of all, let's sink this Byzantine fleet that's, goose-stepping. Alright, let's board the ships, get back to land. And how close are all these men anyway? Milan would be an easier target. And we wouldn't even necessarily need a general to do it. That being said, we do have a spare general who has some dread in him. So let us move the army to just to be safe. Let's move them to this tile, and let's go ahead and move this guy into this army. We have 3 units of dismounted Norman Knights and 2 units of peasant archers. I think that's going to be a very effective fighting force to actually take over either Genoa or Milan, whichever. And what I'll actually do is throw a unit of Italian spear militia in there as well, just to get a little bit more infantry to kind of cover up the line. All right, Corinth, still replenishing units. Thessalonica looks good. Tunis, we don't have really enough money to upgrade much of anything else. So that being said, let's go ahead and end the turn. Byzantines continue to build up a mighty force over here. Alright, the Pope wants us to build a church in Tunis. We can do this, that's fine.
Name the field of battle. We will meet
now, Thessaly probably has a... we can actually build a spy network here in this province, which is going to be fine. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to build a spy just to get a better idea of what this Byzantine force consists of.
We march no further today.
For the time being, let's replenish some of these other units.
I face.
And let's go attack Milan.
My lord, should we would see you dead, heathen.
The Venetians might be starting to get some ideas about, attacking us. And what we're actually going to do is take some of these Pavese crossbow militia, and we'll take one unit of the Italian spear militia, and we'll move them into this army. One great thing about the Italians, of course, is that their militia are quite capable fighters, unlike most other factions. Though Pavese crossbowmen and Pavese crossbow militia are both very effective units, by and large. We will build a church in Tunis, make the Pope approve of us, even though our faith still inspires him. It's true. Now, I will hire a unit of Italian spear militia in this province, and I'm going to disband these Slavic levies just because they do cost quite a bit of upkeep. And to the more to the point, our dismounted Norman knights are going to make it to Thessaly fairly soon. Within the next turn.
To the walls! We are besieged!
Alright, looks like another siege has happened. The Milanese seem dead set on taking Ajaccio. This is fine because we're about to take over Milan.
Let me strike, my lord. We march on our victims. Sooner or later, they will relent, my lord. When shall we attack?
Right, so, I'm pretty sure we got this if we were to attack. Unfortunately for us, these Genoese crossbow militia are quite potent units, even at the militia stage. Yeah, in fact, their defense is only a little bit lower than our Norman knights. Alright, the Pope is happy with us for building a church, and yet our approval of him has gone down, probably for attacking Milan. We expected this, of course.
Chief, come face me. Orders.
Still wary of that Byzantine army. Now, can we actually retrain these Balkan archers? I don't even know if they're really worth it. They are just basically peasant archers. So, let's go ahead and disband them. I'm not going to shed any tears over it. And one thing we could do to kind of beef up our army here in Greece is to get some more, some Muslim archers, which are quite effective units on the whole. So I think I will go ahead and train some. And I'll train another unit of Norman knights as well, because we might need heavy cavalry just to break through the sheer amount of troops that the Byzantines possess. Alright, Durazzo, we're going to start taxing normally. Make about 100 more florins per turn. We're going to build a town hall just to get that nice public health bonus and public order. Because, yeah, we're... it's a big enough town that we can actually start taxing it and make some money. Income in Venice has gone down by quite a bit. This is very unfortunate, as you might imagine. Now, are there any places we could, like, disband units? Because, I mean, we're making a good chunk of money, don't get me wrong, but I feel like we could be making more. And it probably has something to do with the amount of mercenaries we still have here in Durazzo. So what I am going to do is build a unit of Italian militia. And Ajaccio is basically lost at this point, but that's fine. I think it's a fair trade for their capital. Milan, of course, makes a ton of money. Not even going to bother fighting this battle. I don't think there's any way a single peasant unit can beat that many troops, so we'll just surrender. It's fine. Losing that 700 florins per turn is going to suck, but the Moors have sent a diplomat. Not sure why. Probably trying to bribe our city, if I had to guess. Alright, the Ragusans seek to block, or they want us to blockade the port of Ragusa. The Milanese have been excommunicated. Well, well, well. I feel no remorse, no mercy.
My lord, should we spare?
Now, if we were to attack now...
When shall we attack the walls then, my lord?
See, they've only got a stone wall. That's actually a pretty small wall, as I recall. Like, that's what we've got. Not in Durazzo. I think Durazzo is, yeah, only a wooden wall. It'd be like the next one up from Durazzo. It's not a very good wall, is what I'm trying to get at, and so I don't think the archer towers on it would be particularly terrifying. So I say let's go ahead and assault. I mean, like, we might need the next ram, but let's just go ahead and go for it. Being aggressive has worked for us so far. The Holy Roman Empire is actually going to reinforce them, which is kind of annoying, but I'm not particularly worried about this. We'll probably take some casualties, but I mean, this is their capital, and it's going to make us a lot of money if we actually own it. Plus, they're excommunicated, which means that the Pope isn't going to be as bothered by us, doing this, which is kind of important. Let's see what our general has to say about the Milanese.
By the saints, this is a moment worth savoring. All is done. We have put our faith in God. We face a foe to test our mettle. I stand before a valiant company of soldiers. Only the small matter of a battle remains. Look to your arms and prepare your souls. Pray, God, heaven! I fear the Milanese do no service to the land of Italy. Rarely have I smelled such a rank odor. One would think that such a nation of bankers would be able to afford fresh linen. And at the last, look, do you want a fight? I could be raising a goblet or eight, don't you know? Soldier.
And with that, so begins the Battle of Milan. Very well. So, let's see how our units are deployed here. I don't think that these spear militia are going to make anything happen if they go up onto the walls where the crossbow militia are. We're going to have to put our faith in the dismounted Norman knights, as we have, and rightfully so, because there are no better men that we have right now that are, you know, more well suited to this glorious task. Now, I don't really think that there's any benefit, as we saw from that last battle. The amount of benefit you get from moving your archers within shooting range doesn't really outweigh the penalty of, you know, losing so many of them. But we'll try it again. We'll see if it's worth the suppression aspect of it. Now, the nice thing about the units on the ladder is that they can actually, kind of run, which is really useful. And, look! Lo and behold! These quote-unquote armored peasants actually have pants! What a service we've done for the people of Sicily this day. Now, I'm not sure what the main benefit of a siege tower is, because, as we can see, the Norman knights leading this ram and the ones leading the siege tower... in fact, the siege tower ones are taking even more casualties, though admittedly that may just be from the Genoese crossbow militia. Which, as we've discussed, pretty nasty units. Now, on this wall, we only have Italian spear militia, which are pretty potent, I would say.
Ladders are now in place. Walls are no match for valor and force of arms.
You know, some people might dispute that, sir. Yeah, it doesn't really look like our archers are doing much of anything. We've killed one of the Genoese crossbow militia at this point. The angle that they have attacking the walls is just so bad.
Our siege towers have reached the walls.
It doesn't help that crossbow militia typically have just such high armor anyway. Oh, we've killed a whopping 2 of them now. And we've unfortunately lost 20 of our Norman knights, which could be kind of a disaster. However, the Norman knights on this side, hopefully going to be able to crush through this spear militia. We'll see what happens. Now, one thing that we can do is, once these knights on the ground break through, we can easily get them onto the walls to attack some of the other crossbow militia. We're also going to move up our spear militia to try to get them into the town center to actually, you know, take over the town.
Brave hearts and brave deeds.
Now, the general is making a push, so what I'm actually going to do is move my feudal knights out of the way, get our spear infantry up to the front to kind of get them out of the line of fire of that general while we get our spear militia into position. I'm going to move my archers closer. Now, our Norman knights are cutting through these Genoese crossbow militia fairly easily. You know, a lot more easily than I thought they were going to, given how powerful the Genoese crossbow militia actually are. In fact, our Norman knights are actually having more trouble with these Italian spear militia, and that may just be because of a numerical factor, but you know, that remains to be determined, I suppose.
Favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
All right, looks like there's the general's bodyguard is waiting up here. This appears to be their king, judging by the size of the bodyguard. Which could be problematic for our spearmen, but you know, all the same, these are militia. They're not exactly expensive.
Our soldiers have proved their worth today. The enemy's walls belong to us now.
Alright, we've cut down part of the Genoese crossbow militia. We are going to move in this other, this group of Norman Knights to go take out the other group of them, considering that they are still fresh, actually. It's weird. Those Byzantines seem to have put up a bigger fight than these Genoese crossbow militia currently are. And in fact, the retreating ones are getting cut down by our spear militia, as it were, and which just caused them to start fighting to the death. How unfortunate. This is what you get. Did you think it was a good idea to attack us? Interestingly, neither of these Norman Knights on our side actually have any experience, so... Alright, let's get these spear militia stuck in. Ugh, kind of just running into each other there. Now, hopefully, these men can figure out how to kill these
the enemy are
these horsemen.
Blooded. They have lost half
It is more efficient than actually sending in our Norman Knights, whether or not you believe that.
It is unwise.
All right, we've cut down most of them from the walls. We've lost a lot of Norman Knights in the process. We expected this to happen. These Genoese crossbow militia are actually still holding on, but we have killed the Milanese king.
But no less dead for that. We must press our advantage.
Now, our Norman Knights have gotten a chevron here, as we've discussed in either this episode or previous one. Getting that chevron is pretty important, so...
Praise the Almighty.
Alright, these Italian spear militia have cut through the enemy.
We must push our advantage.
Now, unfortunately, it looks like the men of the Holy Roman Empire are, getting closer and closer. So what I'm actually going to do is send in this group of 63 Norman Knights, as well as this other smaller group of 34 into the fray. And we are going to send our cavalry in as well. Going to try to use a more finesse-based tactic, shall we say, than our siege of Thessaly. Let's kind of get these men spread out.
Praise the saints. Our men have taken control of the city.
Because, these are spearmen, we want them to be on the defensive.
We have lost control of the city.
And, looks like our enemy is just content to kind of wait. Let's make sure the Norman Knights don't just run in. And, so this group, we're going to want them to come around to this flank. Unfortunately, they do want to take the center to get there, which is kind of unfortunate. I think we can use shift commands. Yeah, this game uses shift commands. I'm surprised whenever I play older games, like, the amount of them that don't have shift commands. It's a, fairly disconcerting thing. We're gonna get these Norman Knights stuck in. They're gonna make short work of these cavalry, of course. Alright, looks like these men are getting ready to anticipate the cavalry flank that we're setting up currently.
The battle is in our
so we're gonna attack them to kind of intercept.
True and wholehearted. Victory will be ours.
We'll get the rest of these Norman Knights closer up. Alright, these Norman Knights in position. Indeed they are. Alright, let's get these dismounted Normans into the battle as well. Attack from the side here. Not a very good charge, though. Alright, they are taking casualties. We're going to back them off. Cavalry are better on the charge. Alright, got them surrounded. Cycle this unit out.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
Now, one thing I am interested in doing is seeing if these knights can actually get back out here. We might lose some men doing that, unfortunately, but you know, it'd be nice to get that kind of back charge. That ended up being a mistake. That's fine.
Praise to our
Alright, we've killed the Holy Roman Holy Roman Empire's general.
Now his men will
Alright, this should be a much cleaner charge than what we've been getting before.
Control of the city.
There we go. Alright, let's take out the rest of these units of the Holy Roman Empire.
All of Christendom will be
Alright,
awed
Slaughter
by the
Doom-Man.
victory we have won.
I think we handled that battle a lot better than we handled the Siege of Thessaly. Alright, we've killed the Milanese king. And it looks like the Milanese were reconciled. Probably because we just obliterated them.
We show little mercy. They deserve none. We have crushed them. This place is yours, my
Alright, we're gonna sack the settlement. Get 8,000 florins. Pretty good stuff. Milan, actually, a much smaller town than I would have imagined it would be. Immediately going to train some Italian spear militia. And
We will not surrender these
Genoa itself is looking like a pretty tempting target as well, though we admittedly don't have as many good troops as we would have hoped. We're still at 7 approval with the Pope, which is good. And though Milan has been reconciled, he is still not really approved by the Pope, so it's definitely something we could still leverage in our favor. We are still looking to expand here on the Byzantine front. We've got these new units that are moving up to the front line. We could continue to build more units, and now that we've got another big city center with which to make money, we can actually look to further expand our armies in every direction, basically. That being said, I think this is a good place to stop. I'm pretty happy with the way that siege went. I am not the greatest Total War player, especially like leading. I am not very good at leading siege assaults. I just don't build the right armies for it. I don't use the right tactics, basically. Because it's just not something I'm very confident doing, admittedly, and I admit that it's just I'm very good on the defense, but on the offense, not so much. At any rate, though, thank you for joining me, my fellow Sicilians. I hope you're enjoying this series. Hope that I hope to see it through to the end, of course. But that being said, this is going to be the end of this episode, so I'll see you guys on the next one.